Hey there everybody, welcome. Today we are going to talk about how to pre-compose your files in Adobe After Effects. Pre-composing is one of the best tricks I can give you to not only help elevate your animation, but also streamline your timeline. Oftentimes we can have really long timelines with tons of layers. This is a way to group and organize those layers, as well as, like I said, amplify some of your other work. So let's get started to talk about what pre-composing is. Pre-composing is essentially putting things into a folder. So what I mean by that is right now all my layers are on the same stage. In this particular case, I want to have this spaceship kind of shake and fly off the screen. Now to do that, if I were to just set positional keyframes, I would have to go through and set all these keyframes one by one by one by one, and it gets a little cumbersome when it's trying to make it shake and go up and down. So I'm going to use something called pre-compose. You can find pre-compose by selecting your layer and going to Layer, Pre-compose. You could hit Control-Shift-C, or my favorite way is I right-click and I do the hot flyout menu, Pre-compose. Now what this is going to ask you is a couple things. It's going to say basically this is creating a new composition. This avoids you having to go to Composition New, figuring out the size of it and all that good stuff. If we leave all our attributes in the spaceship or planet landscape composition right here, that's essentially going to make a composition the exact size of our UFO asset. If we move everything into the new composition, we will get a rectangular asset. Now, I want to keep my asset the size, kind of like this rectangle-esque square of the UFO. So we're going to call this Space UFO Comp and hit OK. What that does is change the icon, but if I double-click that icon, you'll now see I have a UFO in its perfectly sized composition. So I can sit here and change the size of this, I could play around in this, and this file is now linked to the other composition. So this is something we refer to as nesting. So this UFO is now nested within the scene. So let's say I want to make this one wiggle. Well, rather than moving it up and down and wiggling, let's wiggle it in place. So I'm going to grab this UFO and I'm going to take 5 seconds and I'm going to add 2 identical keyframes, and I'm going to go to Window, Wiggler, and I'm going to set that to jagged, and we'll do 15 for frequency and 8 for magnitude, and we'll hit apply. So this is going to kind of give that a shake, which is really nice. Now you'll see if I go back to its outside composition, it's already shaking and ready to go. But when I actually activate that compositions position, you'll notice all those keyframes aren't there because they're nested inside this folder. So now I can have some fun with this. I could have this shoot off the screen. I could right click and add some ease out of that movement, and I'll get both the shake and the UFO flying off the screen at the same time, which is a really, really nice technique. That's one way pre-compose can really help kind of set up multiple stages or multiple levels of animation. The next way is you can actually group elements. So let's say we want to have the background and the alien in the same composition, and we don't want that UFO. So we're trying to organize our file. Well, we could do the right-click pre-compose, and in this case, we'll move everything to the new composition and call this BG Elements. What this will do is essentially group those 2 elements together. So now you can see they're kind of locked down together, but when I double click on that composition, I still have the ability to move my little alien crab and have fun with that. This is the down and dirty way to keep your files organized, to nest animations, and not only that, but look how clean my timeline, my asset folders, everything is, and I have the ability to, again, double click and play with things where I'm not chasing my asset around when I go to animate. So I hope you enjoyed this really quick lesson on pre-compose, and I highly recommend you use pre-compose in all your projects when you're using Adobe After Effects. Thanks and have a great day.